Sony KD-65Z9D 4K HDR TV Review. Recent TV launches show that affordable large-screen televisions are a significant trend. Buyer interest is focused on getting bang for the buck, and plenty of large feature-filled TVs have been catching the attention of TV buyers in India. Options such as the LeEco Super3 X65 4K Smart TV have changed buying habits, with many choosing affordability over technology and brand value. However, none of this means that premium TVs are going away. There are buyers who want the absolute best and have the funds for expensive high-quality products, and that's where the established brands come in. Sony, Samsung, and LG are the biggest names at the forefront of television development and innovation. This year's big technology for TVs is High Dynamic Range, HDR, which improves color reproduction, brightness, and contrast on your TV. Sony has already launched its first HDR TV range in India, and we reviewed the 55x90 300D 4K HDR TV. However, we found that it didn't quite match up to Samsung's premium option, the 65K S9000 TV. Sony seems to have taken that to heart, and the result is the new and improved Z9D range. It's very similar to the previous model, but improved processing technology and better components promise improved 4K and HDR performance, as well as better upscaling for standard definition and standard dynamic range content. Today we're reviewing the Rs. 5,04,900 Sony 65Z9D 4K HDR TV to find out if it is indeed the best TV you can buy right now. The Sony KD-65Z9D retains the same design language that Sony went with on the X93D range. It's meant to be simple, with no distractions that draw viewers' focus away from the screen. The bezel is narrow, with nearly the entire front occupied by the screen. The stand is fairly similar to the one on the X93D as well, with a single center balance unit that has a small footprint for such a large TV. There are major visual differences at the back of the TV though, with a grid-like pattern on the body. This model also a bit thicker than the X93D, thanks to the different backlight engine in use. The ports and inputs are hidden behind a plastic cover, which you'll likely need to leave open once you have cables connected, or if you often use a USB drive to watch content on the TV. The speakers of the Sony KD-65Z9D are along its bottom, while the front has an LED indicator built in near the Sony logo. The remote that is bundled with the TV is the same as the one that came with the Sony 55x90 300D, with dedicated buttons for Netflix and Google Play. There are no fancy wand-like controls. Navigation happens using the ordinary D-pad and UI controls on the remote. Additionally, the remote relies on infrared, so you will have to point it at the TV for it to work. The sheer size of this TV is its most eye-catching attribute. Although it doesn't look bad at all, we do feel that it's a bit too staid. Buyers will be able to focus on the content on screen without distractions, but some do like their TV to look impressive in itself. The Sony KD-65Z9D 4K HDR TV features a 65-inch 4K LED screen that is capable of displaying high dynamic range content. It's also powered by the Android TV platform. It's very similar to the X93D range, but there are a few key differences. The most significant of these is the improved processor, with the Z9D adopting Sony's new X1 Extreme processor, which promises better performance with HDR and 4K content as well as enhanced standard dynamic range reproduction. Take a look at our review of the X93D to understand the benefits of HDR in TVs. Additionally, the KD-65Z9D features some other buzzwords, such as backlight master drive, which promises deeper blacks and brighter colors, and object-based HDR remaster, which helps enhance the colors for SDR content. All of this comes together to also offer better upscaling of lower resolution content to fit on the large 4K screen. There are no major new features, the main change here is performance. The Sony KD-65Z9D's operating system and user interface are based on Android TV, which has been developed by Google specifically for smart TVs. The version on the Z9D has been updated, and is based on Android Marshmallow. The X93D was based on Android Lollipop. This doesn't have a huge impact on the Android TV launcher user interface, which looks almost entirely the same as what we've already seen and used. The App Store remains among the better marketplaces for apps that we've used with TVs, with plenty of useful content-based apps as well as games that can be played on the TV. You can use Sony's DualShock controller to play games, And the Google Play Store has a special list of games that can be played easily using just a TV remote. The KD-65Z9D has 8.2 GB of free storage for installing apps and games.